Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new season of Love is Blind, season 5, episodes 1 and 2. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, we are in Houston, back in the pods. The pods are now open. So they released the singles. Everyone's in the pods trying to get to know each other. We get introduced to Lydia, a 30-year-old geologist. Nobody can understand a damn thing she says, okay, except, oh my gosh, because honey, she says it every 5 minutes. In walks Milton, a 24-year-old geologist. Nah, Milton, okay? This hair and this stash is giving 80s flick, okay? It's giving, it's giving the 80s, honey. None of these people look their age, none of them. When I was 24, I looked cute and irresponsible, as it should be. Baby, these people look like they got mortgages, kids in college, dogs. They got all kinds. These people do not match their age, honey. Somebody got a little lying problem. Now, I don't know who it is, but somebody got one. So they start talking, Lydia and Milton. They start talking about the metaphoric rocks of it all. And I mean, these two hit it off based on their love of rocks and minerals and sticks and stones may break their bones. And they was just hitting it off for the bones and the sticks of it all. So, I mean, Milton seems like a nice guy, though. But once she found out his age, she was like, oh, you're younger than me, bro. Oh, now, I think, me personally, I think you should be at least 30 years old for this show. I just feel like 30 should be the magic number to apply for this show. In your 20s, you're supposed to be dipping it and doing it. I mean, I just feel like you don't really supposed to give that in your 20s. It could work, but I just personally feel like you need to live your life and then come on back over here if you can't find it in your 30s. Moving forward. So next round, we meet Izzy, and Izzy meets Lydia. So Izzy is allegedly 29. Izzy, okay? And again, you're a handsome man. But you also do not look no damn 29. Is it just me? And now, for those of you who have watched, please go watch episodes 1 through 4 and meet me on Thursday. As a matter of fact, this will replace Ready to Love this Thursday. We're going to get together and talk about some things. It's not going to be a review. I just want to get together and talk to y'all and get into it so we can watch and discuss. But this man right here does not look 29. And I don't care what he says. And I need to see a birth certificate. So they start getting to know each other. Lydia starts asking him if he wanted kids. He said, after him and his wife settle in and they've enjoyed each other a little bit, then he wants to have kids. So baby, Lydia was ready for the proposal after he said that. He said most women don't like his bald head. And I was kind of shocked by that because Izzy is a super handsome guy to me. His physique is really nice. He's handsome. So, I mean, it's not like he got an egghead. You know how some men, they be catfishing you, and then when they take that hat off, it's giving cone head. But he's giving a perfectly rounded head, and it fits his face. He looks really handsome, but, some people don't like bald heads and whatnot. Next up, we meet Stacy. She's a 33-year-old operations manager. So her and Izzy, they start talking. He's trying to give her some background, and she starts talking about darts. Have you ever just started throwing darts? Do you like to throw darts? Now, as he was talking to her, this is episode 1, Stacy is giving very immature. That's what she's giving to me in this moment. So then Izzy goes to talk to Johnie. Now, Johnie is a 30-year-old lawyer. She said people assume that she wants to argue, but she likes effective communication. Do you, Johnie? Interesting. He loved the sound of her voice. Now, I don't think that Izzy would have personally liked Johnie once he saw her, but maybe that's just me. Aesthetically, I don't think Johnie would be what Izzy wants, even though Izzy feels like people don't like him because of his aesthetic. But something in me just tells me that Izzy is an F-boy. Now, y'all stay with me. Here we go. So he starts telling Johnie, how they will be on the same page based on things that she's telling him. So she asks if he's been in any long-term relationships. He did reveal to her that he's been engaged, and she said that she's been married before, and she has not told anyone else that because she doesn't want them thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be your second husband and things like that. She didn't want to be judged. Now, me personally, I would have asked in that moment, why are you no longer engaged? What happened? But honey, these people so desperate, y'all. When I tell y'all, it's giving Squid Games, Hunger Games, it's giving games, and more games. And it's giving Survivor, Big Brother. It is giving any show where you are in fear of elimination. Not now one of these people want a relationship. When I say not now one, child, this is just a fool. So Johnie is one of 6 children. Her parents are still together, and her parents want grandkids. So she tells us that her mom told her that maybe she's not meant to be in a relationship because of the guys that she's chosen in the past. And I was like, dang, that is super hurtful. Johnie, I'm gonna say this to you right here. You definitely deserve love. Everybody deserves love. And for your own parent to tell you, oh, well, I mean, maybe you're not meant to be in a relationship, so you're doomed to be by your damn self until your last day here on earth. Child, be your own parents. Anywho, Johnie then meets Chris. Chris is a 27-year-old project manager. Now, I think Chris and Johnie make a cute looking pair. I really do. I think they look very nice together. He fosters dogs on the weekends, which she loved and earned him major points because she also has a dog. So after their conversation, he really was liking Johnie. He was like, oh, I like everything about her. She's just a lot like me, and I think we have something in common. So now they're all back to their quarters. The men go to their corners and the women go to theirs. So they're all talking about their experiences on the speed dates. Stacy is talking about how Nasty Nesto, one of these men she met in the pods, burped and didn't even say, excuse me. Okay, yuck. You ain't got no manners, so it's a no for me. And I'm glad they didn't show more of you because I can't stand a person to just be outright burping. I cannot stand it. When I say I can't stand it, I cannot stand it. So all the girls were, feeling Izzy. It was like an Izzy here and an Izzy there. I like Izzy. Child, everybody was in love with him. And I was like, this right here might be an issue. Let's see how it's gonna go. Moving forward. So it's the next morning. It's day 2 of the pod dates. Taylor, who is 25 and she's a teacher, she meets up with JP, who is 30 and he's a firefighter. Again, JP, you look older than 30. Now, Taylor, she is cute as a button to me. She is just so cute. So I think that Taylor looks like she's 25 and, her demeanor gives 25, but JP, you do not give 30. So they start talking about his job as a firefighter and her being a teacher. She teaches kindergarten. She hopes that her kids remember her. Let me tell you something. My favorite teacher of all time was my kindergarten teacher. I still remember that woman to this day. A kindergarten teacher can make or break your educational experience. I'm just telling you from experience. I loved her. So you definitely can be a teacher that people will remember if you make an impression on the kids. So they're talking about that, and she's telling him, what she's looking for in a guy. So he asked her if she cooks. And she was like, well, I'm getting a little better at it. The amount of people that cannot cook is astounding to me. Like, I know how to cook because I like to eat. Like, do y'all not like to eat? I'm just so confused when people are like, yeah, I don't really know how to cook. Baby, now, Taylor, I know for one, you got an Instagram. There are Instagram chefs all up and down the timeline. There are TikTok chefs. Baby, they have the recipes. Just get your little garlic powder. Let me give you the staples. Get your little garlic powder, a little onion powder, salt, pepper, paprika, sazon, okay? Some chicken bouillon. Make sure that you season your meat, okay? Season your meat, but make sure you have those staples in the house because, baby, they put them things on everything. Do you hear me? Salmon, a little salt, paprika. I'm like, oh, baby, if y'all garlic powder and onion powder me one more time. Now, that's neither here nor there. This is a side note. But, girl, you should know how to cook something. Do you know how to cook spaghetti? Like, baby, that's the basics. So, anywho, these two are dried in a Popeye's biscuit, but they say they like each other. So, child, we shall see. Moving forward. So, then we're introduced to Uche, a 33-year-old lawyer. So, he has a pod date with Miriam, who is a 33-year-old scientist. Now, Miriam ain't a bit more scientist than the man in the moon. She is closer to Bill Nye the Science Guy than an actual damn scientist. Miriam, you got a little lying problem and the truth ain't in you. She was like, yeah, I was going to work in the medical center, but, I took up chemistry, so now I'm a scientist. So he was like, oh, okay, what kind of scientist? Well, like different industries. So then she tells him, yeah, now I'm currently in academia and, I work in the Middle East, but I'm going to be moving back to Houston full time soon. So then Uche was like, okay, so when are you moving back? She's like, like a couple of weeks. So he said, okay, so what side of Houston are you going to be living on? Because, honey, let me tell you something. One thing about Houston, honey, I need to know if you're going to be on the north, the south, the east, or the west. Because if you are on the north and I am on the south, then we are in a long distance relationship. Him asking her what side of town she going to live on, I was like, I know that's right. So he's asking her that. She's like, well, I already moved back. Now, girl, just 5 minutes prior to this, you said I'm going to be moving back soon in a couple of weeks. She was like, I'm moving back. I moved back already. I live in River Oaks. Girl, please, you're on Bit More living on River Oaks than the man in the moon, honey. Girl, you just named the most affluent neighborhood that you could name. Talking about some River Oaks. Where in River Oaks do you live? On what street? Girl, please. Miriam seems to have a little lying problem with all that, girl. So she was like, yeah, I just hope that my business flourishes because, I am doing something with skincare. He said, oh, okay, what are you doing? Like dermatology? She's like, not dermatology. He said, okay, what kind of skincare? She's talking about, I'm offering a distinct composition. Girl, go away. Go away from me with this. You are looking for someone to take care of you. Girl, you probably can't even spell scientist. I'm not about to play. Side note, while I'm watching this scene, why can't we ever get a black man with a nice haircut? Uche's hair is bugging the hell out of me. Okay, him and Milton Bradley. The heads are looking a fool. They look a fool about the head and I don't like it. I would really appreciate if we just get one fine man on there with his haircut like he got some sense. Like, what is wrong with y'all? So next up, we meet Aaliyah. So she's 28. She's a nurse. And so she's meeting up with Uche and she's telling him about her parents being in the Air Force and how she lived in Japan. And she moved to Houston to work in the medical center because it's one of the best in the country. Uche is like, well, I'm a lawyer by trade, but I also own a software company. So he's like, you're so motivated and ambitious. And I definitely, look for that in somebody. And I see that in you. You're hired. Like when he was saying that, I said, what in the LinkedIn? It was just it felt very second interview. You got the job type vibes. Sir, please don't sit here and read off a list of things and then say, I see a lot of that in you. So when can you start? Because that's not giving me relationship. That's giving me exactly what is my salary and I need it in writing. That's what that gave me. Because sir, what? So now on to the sex talk. Let's talk about sex, baby. So baby, they're going around these pods and they're talking about sex and sex and sex and more sex. And Stacy is telling Izzy that she can guess people's shoe size. Girl, so can everybody else if they try. Honey, I can look at your feet right now. Or as my grandmother would say, I can look at your foots right now. Oh, my goodness. I can look at your foots right now and tell you wear 8.5 and a 7 in boys. Girl, goodbye and good night. So he was like, you just seem like you're fun. She's like, yeah, I'll just go up and smack a man's butt and laugh about it at the bar. Okay, Stacy is a liability, honey, because girl, what? Consent. And secondly, in today's climate, let's just all keep our hands to ourselves. Okay, because right now people are unhinged. People ain't got much money, honey. Hamburger meat costs $57 a pound. Please don't touch people unwarranted, honey. And they be drunk in that bar too, eating them hot wings. Please do not touch people unless they ask to be touched. Don't do it. So Izzy is stuck between Johnie and Stacy. He likes Johnny's calmness, but he likes Stacy being so outgoing and the fun side of Stacy. So he asked her about her connections and they both agree that they are each other's strongest connection. Now, mind you, he is sitting here talking to Johnie in this moment, telling her that she is his strongest connection. So now Johnie is in the pod with Chris. They're playing this card game. It's questions about sex. He asked when was it that she lost her virginity, and she said she lost it her junior year, I believe. So then she in turn asked him, she was like, well, when did you lose yours? And he said, well, I told people that it was my junior year, but really a girl took advantage of me at 17 on a trip to Cancun. And I really feel like it's awful, the stigma around men being taken advantage of, because it does happen. And they have to get there, how they get there. So people just assume, oh, how could you possibly been taken advantage of? I mean, you have to stand up to get into it. I mean, but they can absolutely be pressured into sex. And the fact that he felt that he needed to cover it is so sad. The fact that he needed to tell people, oh, it happened when I was a junior. I'm very sorry that happened to you, Chris. And the fact that you were so vulnerable and willing to share on a platform such as this and everybody is watching. There's probably another man that is watching this and you've helped them to feel like, you know what? It happened to me, so I can resonate with what he's talking about. So I thought that was a very powerful thing. And I'm happy that he shared that. He said something about the pods made him feel safe enough to share. And Johnie was very supportive of him and, let him know that it's not his fault. So he said that he really cares about Johnie. And I feel like I can see the two of them as a couple. So now Lydia goes for another date with Izzy. So they start talking about what they're like in relationships and talking about they have a lot in common. So she was like, yeah, we do have a lot in common. You feel the same way, right? He said, she's like, it's so crazy. I want to feel you. He said, yeah. Girl, he is not feeling it. Do you hear me? So after she said that she wanted to feel him, that man said, so how did the rest of your dates go? Lydia, he isn't into you. He tried to change the subject real quick. He was like, this girl talking about she want to feel me. I have nothing in common with her. I don't like her like that. So let's just switch subjects. So she tells him that he's her number one. He's like, so do you have any other number ones? Girl, please pick somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. Because his sights are set on other women. And it is not you. Lydia, baby, please read the room. She's like, I hope to see you in my dreams. Late at night when all the world is sleeping, I stay up and think of you. Lydia, go to bed. Go to bed, ma'am. He said, okay, bye. Baby, Izzy is trying to run the hell far, far away from Lydia because he knew she was nuts. He knew upon pod meeting her that she was nuts. Girl, goodbye and good night. Moving forward. So Uche and Aaliyah are on another date. So she's telling him, she wants a man that can let her be herself and listen to her poetry. And she also wants a woman cave so that she'll be able to have her privacy when she gets her poetry on. So he's telling her, that he's been doing spoken word. And she's like, you know what my favorite movie is? It's Love Jones. Well, baby, y'all definitely ain't giving no Nia Long and Lorenz Tate. I tell you that right now. So he's telling her, he's falling off from doing his poetry, but they need to perform together. Everything she says, he's like, I do that as well. I do that as well. Oh, yeah, me too. And I'm like, it's something to you. I don't trust it. So she's like, I just want to kiss you right now. Slow down, Aaliyah. Okay? You over there wanting to rock the boat, honey. Write him a 4-page letter, but do not put your mouth on him. Okay? We don't know him for real. We just met him. Over on the other side, Taylor and JP, they go on another date. Now, Taylor is the 25-year-old teacher and JP is the 30-year-old firefighter. And I mean, I guess they're still depriving them of sleep because JP was tired as hell, honey. He was nodding off and whatnot. Y'all do give sleepy time tea, so let's just move on. Moving forward. Back in the pods, Lydia is telling Stacy that Izzy is her number one choice. Girl, Stacy don't want to hear that. Okay, she really could care less. And Izzy, he might be your number one choice, but that man don't like you. So she goes for another date with Izzy. So Lydia gets in there and he finally just had to break it to her. Listen, girl, I think that you're amazing, but I have stronger connections with the other ladies. Well, baby, what'd he say that for? Once he said that, she was like, well, what's the reason? Tell me what's the reason. Ma'am, do not let him tell you more than once. So then she starts crying. Right there in the pods, ma'am, it is the first day. Y'all have known each other for 24 hours, 37 minutes, and 22 seconds. You do not know this man. So she starts crying. Lydia, no ma'am. No ma'am. Pick yourself up. Okay, get yourself together. Just like I told Aaliyah, you don't even really know him. She's like, I just don't understand. Tell me, I don't understand. Now, I respect that he told her the real and that he let her down respectfully and easily. But Lydia, you're unhinged. So she went back into the ladies' lounge and she's sobbing, sliding down the walls and going on. I'm like, what is going on? So both Johnie and Stacy were looking like, oh, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay. Thanks for coming. Honey, they really could give a damn less. They don't give a damn. Aaliyah was really there trying to comfort her, because everybody else was just looking at her. Now, mind you, Aaliyah is comforting Lydia because Lydia is falling the hell apart because Izzy, whom she's known for all of 22 minutes, has said he's interested in other women. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all following me. Over on the other side, Aaliyah goes for a date with Uche. And she's telling him, she wants to make sure that he wants her. He's like, we're leaving here together. And if we don't, I don't know what I'm going to do. And you going to leave alone? That's what you going to do. She's like, oh my gosh, why are you so perfect? Girl, gather yourself. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And he ain't even perfect for you. It's been 3 damn days. 3 days. 1, 2, 3. 3 days. Moving forward. So she asked what a deal breaker is that he has, and he said it's dishonesty. She was like, ooh, me too. I can't stand a liar. So he asked if she's ever cheated and lied to somebody. And she said, yeah, I did once because the sexual chemistry was lacking. She said it was 2 years ago. He said, oh, so you're a recent cheater. She's like, no, don't say it like that. Please don't say it like that. So she was like, I was just trying to teach him what I wanted. And, I told him multiple times. I tried to fix it, but it just wasn't working. So he was like, so why didn't you just leave? She said, well, I was like afraid to be alone. And I didn't think that I was going to find a man as good as him when he did have good attributes. But, that's why I stayed. She said she didn't tell the ex because she didn't want to hurt him. And she knew what she did was wrong. So then he was like, well, did you feel embarrassed or guilty? She said, well, I had dealt with the guilt and the embarrassment. And he was like, I feel like that's more about you. Now, for me, I feel like she should have been honest with her ex. Because, baby, if I turn on damn Netflix and have to find out that I was in a relationship with you and we parted ways and you cheated on me and I find out through Netflix, I'm going to be pissed and embarrassed. So Uche was like, I cheated, but that was like 18 and I only kissed her. But my conscience wouldn't allow me to not tell a person that I cheated on them. I would have to tell the other person. Oh, you got a conscience, huh? Okay. She said, well, I wouldn't put myself in that situation again. That was 2 years ago. He was like, well, 2 years ago, that's not that long ago. Listen, I don't condone cheating. So just because she's a woman does not mean I'm going to be going up for her like y'all think I'm going to do. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's okay. If your needs weren't being met, then that's okay. No, ma'am. If you feel like your needs are not being met, the same thing I would tell a man, and that would be to break up with them because being cheated on really hurts. And I bet he watching this like, what the hell? But Uche, let me get to you, honey. Not you condemning and being real judgy. Okay, because he who cast the first stone, baby, you need to take the speck out of your own damn eye before you go judging everybody else. I felt like he was really being like just, how you do something and you feel terrible for it. And then the person comes along and they just keep beating a dead horse. That's what Uche was doing. Like, you should feel horrible. You're a terrible person. I don't know. It's something about him. I ain't feeling it. Okay. I really ain't feeling it. So she gets up and she walks out and now she come back in there crying. So Lydia comes in crying. Now we got Aaliyah coming in there crying. So she's also sliding down the wall. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Now the whole time Aaliyah crying, I didn't see not one tear. Not one, but I hear her crying like she just came from a funeral. Oh, I think I lost him. I'm like, what is going on? So he goes back into the men's quarters, right? He's telling him that he didn't like an answer that one of the ladies gave him, but in reality, she didn't have to tell him. And yes, I want to add that the fact that she was honest enough to actually put it out there and tell you, yes, I cheated, that should have been enough. But you felt like you needed to condemn her. He's like, I'm just trying to figure out if, I'm overreacting. You think? She don't even know you really. Moving forward. Meanwhile, back in the women's quarters, she's telling Lydia that she thinks that he felt like she was going to cheat on him because she's cheated in the past. So Lydia's like, I love you. Look at me. If he leaves you, it's his fault, okay? He's not the one for you because he judges you so easily. He's not the one for you. So, baby, she's speaking her speech and telling Aaliyah, you're better than him. Me and you, we're the same. We're very similar. You see it? We're very similar. And she's like petting Aaliyah and telling her that she can do better than Uche. And I'm like, what is going on? And scene. And that was the end of episode 1. So, baby, let's get into episode 2. So now it's day 3 of the pods. Lydia and Milton, they go for a date. He can't figure out that he has a cooler. She's like, do you have a cooler in your room? He's like, no, I don't. I see an ice chest. Same damn thing, sir. Same damn thing. If you take those $1.25 tree glasses off, you could see. Take them sunglasses off in that pod so you can see what's going on, Milton. Like, what? Oh, my goodness. Milton Bradley, take them glasses off. So now that Izzy cut off Lydia, now she over here settling for Milton and his rocks. I'm like, girl, gone. So she's telling Milton about Izzy cutting her off. And he was like, just talk to me. It's okay. It's just talk to me. She's like, are you sure? Can I just talk to you right now? I can just talk to you about anything. He said, sure you can. So she tells him that she wants to be loved and cared for. And she wants someone that's really going to love her. And she just craves that. So he was like, well, I feel like you're worthy of love. And, I think that you're an amazing person. He said, I hope that I can talk to you every day. I love talking to you. And, I feel like you're going to be a great mother to somebody someday. Child, not them spending the entire date helping Lydia to get over her breakup with Izzy. That really wasn't a breakup. Child, he didn't want you. And that's just it. So he starts to tell her how his parents were strict and how his childhood wasn't the greatest, and then he moved to Houston. His grades improved. He feels like he isn't as confident as other people. And I was like, aw, Milton really does seem like a nice guy. Now, do I think he should go for Lydia? Absolutely not. But he does seem so sweet. I don't want him to be taken advantage of. Y'all know, Milton, I don't know about this whole Lydia thing. I just really don't. He said, well, if I had a do-over, I wouldn't tell people my age. And she was like, well, yesterday I couldn't see myself marrying you, but I can today. Girl, that's because Izzy don't want you. Now all of a sudden you can see yourself marrying him. Girl, goodbye and good night. Moving forward. Taylor goes for another date with JP, and she's asking him about his childhood. He got really emotional, and he was saying, his mom was really an angry person when he was younger, and she would take things out on his sisters, not really him. And when his mom got through with her tirades and she left for work, he would go in and try to comfort his sister. So like he's crying and whatnot. And he was like, I'm better now. And she's better now. I was mad, but I'm not anymore. Well, JP, you may not be mad, but you are definitely sad. And you need to seek some sort of counseling because it's still bringing up some feelings. I don't know why people don't see unresolved issues when your emotions start bubbling up. I can tell when I'm not completely over something because my emotions will overtake me when I speak about the experience. When I know I'm definitely over something, I could tell you about that situation with a straight face with not 1 ounce of feeling behind it. You need to go and talk to somebody about that. And I have to say this too. This is just a side note. I said that I would never deal with another man with mommy issues that are unresolved because in my experience, okay, this is just my experience, not everybody else. In my experience, it has not gone over well. It is always an issue. Okay. And I just don't have time for that. If you do not have a good relationship with your mom, not an obsessive relationship with your mom where you're a mama's boy, honey, she don't want to let nobody get even close to you. Not that. But if you have a healthy relationship with your mom, then we can move forward. That is going to be the first thing I ask a man. How's your relationship with your mother? Well, she wasn't there for, no, thank you. Moving forward. Baby, I'm going to be moving forward in real life. So after 3 days, now they're saying I love you to each other. I guess I'm just old school, honey, because y'all saying y'all love each other already. Anyway, back over in the women's quarters, Lydia is still giving Aaliyah this lecture on Uche. And I was just like, girl, why do you keep talking to her about this man? Leave this woman alone. So then Uche and Aaliyah, they meet up once again. And so she's telling him that she feels like he was condemning her and made her feel like she isn't worthy of being with him. He's like, did I say that? Is that something that I said? It just surprised me. She was like, well, I don't want to feel like I'm being judged because I would not have judged you. So he apologized and said the reason why he reacted that way is because in the past he had trust issues and he's been lied to. So he said he should have looked at it as a positive because she even felt the need to tell him, and that was big of her. So he said he accepts her for who she is, and he's sorry for making her feel that way. She was like, well, I guess I forgive you. He was like, well, I can accept anything as long as you're honest. He seems like the type that is going to be emotionally manipulative and hold you to an unrealistic standard. Okay. Now he can do whatever the hell he want to do, and you better accept his apology. But for you, he's going to make sure he keeps on just pushing and pushing and pushing. You cannot make any mistakes with a man like that, honey. It would be a no for me, big dog. Absolutely not. Over on the other side, Izzy and Stacy, they're on another date, and he's telling her, certain things that he wouldn't have to worry about with her, but he also feels like she's not very vulnerable, and he's gone deeper with other ladies. So Stacy was like, well, I can't be with a person that I can't have fun with. Now, Stacy, I do get that, because if you're going to be with somebody forever, you do want to have fun with them. But you also cannot go into a relationship based on you being handsy at the bar and guessing people's shoe size. Like, come on, girl, you got to grow up. You're 33 years old. There is more to a relationship than what you're talking about, playing beer pong and hanging out. Like, girl, get real. So he's torn between her and Johnie. Over in the men's quarters, Chris is saying how much he likes Johnie. Johnie and Chris go on a spa pod date. And they were really in the moment, and they were really enjoying each other. He said he can picture her with his family, and she's like, yeah, I can picture that too. So then he tells her that he's in love with her and can see himself marrying her. Slow down, lowdown. You in love with her? It's extremely too early for you to be in love with her. Too early. Pods are not real life, y'all. It's not real life. Even though she likes Chris, she said that she has a huge crush on Izzy and she just cannot shake it. So then Izzy and Johnie, they go on their date. So he's telling her about, his upbringing, being a Jehovah's Witness, and how he didn't get a chance to celebrate holidays. He said when he was in school, he would have to leave early if they were having Christmas parties. As a former educator myself, that's very tough on children because they don't understand. And if you don't explain it to them, and even when you do, when you're an elementary school kid and you see all of your friends celebrating and they're passing out Valentine's Day cards and they're doing gift exchanges at Christmas time, you don't want to feel like the odd man out. The worst thing for a child is to feel different. So I can totally understand what he's saying with that. So he's telling her, this story and how he ended up finding out his dad wasn't his dad. And I was like, wow. And baby, they just skipped right on past it. I said, wait a minute. So what happened? Like, story time. Give me a story time that's really a story time. Child, I wanted to know, like, what? Anyway, so he's asking her if she sees herself with him. And she's telling him, with Chris, it feels like friendship. But with him, it's more of a feeling that she gets, getting butterflies and whatnot. He wanted her to tell him that she wanted him, and she did it. Johnie, why did you do that? He wants you to make sure you solidify his place. But with you, he hasn't given you anything. Back over with JP and Taylor, he proposes. Although they're boring, they do like each other and they look cute together. So let's move on. JP, I'm going to say this to you. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I feel like you will look really nice with a little beard. It will kind of zhuzh up your look, zhuzh you up a notch. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the way you look, but I feel like a little facial hair could help you. Back over with Chris and Johnie, they go on their pod date. And she starts to tell him emotionally she has a stronger connection to Izzy. And she does not want to be torn between the two of them anymore. So baby, she gonna rock with Izzy. Johnie, wrong road. Girl, you are making the wrong choice. Poor Chris. He was so sad. But you know what? He tried to take it like a champ. Chris, although Johnie hit you with the okie doke, it's okay, because the vulnerability that you shared with her in those pods is going to help another man. So don't feel bad. Now, me personally, I feel like the two of them would have been a better match and more compatible. But she let Izzy pressure her into stroking his ego, because that's exactly what that was. Side note, every time a woman goes back into the women's quarters, here comes Lydia. Girl, go sit down somewhere. running up in everybody's face. What is going on, baby? Are you okay, honey? Oh my God. Just go away. Just go away, girl. So now Johnie goes in to meet with Izzy. Okay. Because now she has cut things off with Chris. So she tells him, I cut things off with Chris. He said, oh, I heard. I didn't get involved in it, but I saw it. Izzy is an undercover villain and he ain't fooling me. Y'all mark my words. When we get down to them honeymoon episodes, he is an undercover villain. She was like, I just felt like he was the safer option and I always choose the safe option. I couldn't thrive in that relationship. So he said he feels like she would see him and reject him. And I actually feel the exact opposite. I feel like you would see her and reject her. It's just something about it, y'all. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But I feel like if Izzy saw Johnie and they saw each other today, she would not reject him. She would actually think that he was cute. But he would reject her. And he ain't fooling me. So he's telling her, he wants someone that won't abandon him. He's still dealing with things from his fiance. What things are those? Why are y'all not asking him this? Like, what things are you dealing with? Tell me. Okay. She said her past makes her seem like a red flag, but she's not. So she's telling him, she dated this guy. He had an addiction. And she was married to someone else at the time after they broke up. And she found out that he died of an overdose. And I was like, that's heavy. So she said the man who died was the only person that she had ever loved. The husband was sort of a rebound. And I was like, that's really unfair to try to get over somebody else while using him. That's why I have to make sure that it is really over. And it has to be at least a year or two in between the time that you were last with that person. Because that ain't gonna work for me. Now, I don't think that she's a walking red flag just yet. I just think that she's chosen wrong men in the past. I mean, as have I, honey. I can't even judge you too harshly because I have chosen poor men in the past as well. Moving forward. So after she told him that, he got real quiet. He was asking her if she felt like anybody else could fill his role. And she was like, I definitely feel like they can. Sure. She was like, I'm very capable of being in love again. She said, what if I could feel that way about you? He's like, well, then say something to me. Sir, what are you doing right now? Just because she loved him doesn't mean that she'll never love another man for the rest of her damn life. So then he's like, I should have known this a long time ago. I'm finding out things I should have known a long time ago. Well, you don't know nothing about Stacy, but you dilly-dallying around with her. These some old judgy little men this season, baby. They are judgy. Do y'all hear me? So she was like, well, I feel like I'm falling in love with you. Okay, Alicia Keys, you keep falling in and out of love, baby. Stop letting this man pressure you into saying things that you probably don't mean. She's like, well, the ball is in your court. So she's telling him, she hasn't felt that way about anybody else in 7 years, but he's still not saying anything. He's just sitting there. So she tells him all that. And he's ready to wrap it up. He's like, yeah, we could just wrap this up. So she's begging him to give her a chance. No, ma'am. This is a red flag with him because at this point, it's been about 5 days. You cannot possibly know everything there is to know about a person. So the fact that he felt like I should have been knew you only been in love with him. We don't know anything about that fiance. What about that fiance? See, y'all not thinking, ladies. Turn your thinker on. Turn it on. Now, to me, I feel like he was just looking for an out because he really want to be with Stacy. Let's just be real. So she gets back to the women's lounge, beating herself up because she let Chris go and he really cared about her. Izzy just wanted to make sure that she wanted only him. He is trying to stack the deck. So she was like, if he chooses Stacy, he won't be happy with her. Ooh, baby, the claws are out. Honey, it's giving cat fight. It's about to be a what? A girl fight. Ooh, child, shout out to Brooke Valentine. So now it's time for JP and Taylor to finally meet each other. So baby, the doors open up. To be continued. And that is the end of the review for part 1 and part 2. Now episodes 3 and 4, I will be bringing those to you a little bit later on today. And we gonna get into it, baby. Y'all come right back. Y'all please come back and listen to the reviews for episodes 3 and 4. Baby, they have lost their damn minds. Okay? They have lost their minds. Do you hear me? It is good. Y'all don't miss it. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about episodes 1 and 2. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, Stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.